Hey, Wildcat Nation. Welcome back to Season 3 of Wildcat Week. I'm Abby Harvey, and I'm here with special guest host Isaac Wolf. The athletes we're spotlighting for Episode 2 are members of the volleyball team here at IWU. We have senior Martina DeMarchi, who was first team all-conference last year, and sophomore Ava Droldersma, who was last year's AVCA NAIA Freshman of the Year.
The Wildcats are ranked 5th in this week's NAIA coaches poll, and after a sweep of Huntington on Wednesday, they are off to a 10-0 start. But how about we start where it all began for you guys? Tell us your story on how you got into volleyball, and if you played any other sports growing up, what were they?
So I started volleyball when I was 11 years old, I think. I did gymnastics for 5 years before that, and I was getting a little tired of it. So my mom one day just dropped me off at the gym and said, let's try it out. And after that, I never stopped, and it was just volleyball.
For me, I started volleyball in 7th grade, so a little bit of a later start. But I also played volleyball, soccer, and basketball in high school and middle school.
How did you guys decide that you wanted to continue college volleyball?
For me, it was more like I love volleyball, and it was like kind of my time to get like disconnected from everything else. When I was coming to practice, it was playing. It was just a moment for myself and just like focus on something else other than school and things going around. So, yeah.
I also just loved volleyball as a sport, and I loved that you could just have teammates there for you on the court at all times. So I think that was a big part of it for me. I actually didn't know if I wanted to play basketball or volleyball in college. So it was just a very late decision, I would say, and I just felt like God called me to volleyball just because of the joy that I've had from it.
And then how did you guys kind of end up at IWU? I know that you're from overseas, so kind of explain that story, how you ended up here.
Okay, so it's kind of a crazy story, but when I was back home in Switzerland, I played for a professional team, and one day I played against another professional team, and there was a player, a setter in there, that is actually my assistant coach's daughter. So we met actually it was very random. We started talking about like college volleyball and stuff, and she was telling me, yeah, my dad is like a coach at this small Christian university in Indiana. And then I tried to like discover more about it. And then after I came here for my exchange year, I was able to skip my senior year because of COVID. And so I kind of got stuck here. And I decided to just go to Indiana Wesleyan because I felt like God called me to like come here and stuff.
For me, it's a little different, but I never really played club growing up, which is kind of different from everyone else as far as the recruiting process. So I wasn't really out there for any schools, kind of under the radar, but I just heard about Indiana Wesleyan through a couple at my church who had gone there and said that their athletics were great and their programs. And, I just felt called by God to come here. And, yeah.
You guys started off your season with 4 wins in a row against ranked opponents. Can you kind of talk about how that set the tone for this season?
So yeah, we always go to this tournament at Columbia College. It's a very like good competition, good teams. So we're very excited to go there. We actually only lost 2 seniors from last year. So we really like played like with each other a lot. We just had a couple additions to the team. But I feel like the chemistry was way better this year just because we went on a mission trip before this tournament, before preseason, and I think that really helped us getting closer to each other and closer to God. So that I feel like really helped with like the way we played and everything.
Yeah, I would say the same thing. Team chemistry and just how we connected with each other right off the bat was something very different from last year, especially having 2 months together, which was a big part of that. And also just that tournament, a lot of good teams are going to be there, and you just want to start off your season strong. So I think, we just wanted to come out fighting.
You talked about the mission trip. Where did you guys go, and what did you do this summer?
So we went to the Dominican Republic with the organization called Go Ministries, and we were there. We coached at this volleyball camp with local girls for 3 days. Where just like was session in the morning with little girls, and then the afternoon with older girls. So we were there, and we were just helping and discovering the community.
How was being on campus here without like any other students or any really other teams? How is that?
I like it because it's just an opportunity for us to just hang out with each other and really grow our bonds there. Yeah, it's really just volleyball, eat, sleep, and then just hang out with each other. So I think that's a really great like growing opportunity for us.
You guys have started off really strong, obviously 10-0, and you're sitting at number 5 in the rankings. How does this make you feel now that you're just about to start conference play? You started it actually against Huntington on Wednesday.
So I feel like even if we're like ranked, we were a little surprised to like be ranked like this high, only on the second, like poll number 2. So we're still trying to like stay focused on like our team and not getting like, I don't know how to explain, like getting too excited about it, because we're just trying to like stay humble and like just work on ourselves and how we play and just keep working hard. And we never know, like everyone is going to bring their best game against us now that we're like number 5. So yeah.
Yeah, I would just go off of that. We can always get better and grow. So even no matter what rankings say, we're always reaching for the best and as good as we can be as a team.
And you, Martina, as a senior, how do you sort of lead this group when there's such high expectations that come with that ranking and the record so far?
I feel like I just try to stay calm in like hard situation, like when we're playing or when maybe we're down, trying to like help each other, communicate, and maybe if there is like a freshman playing or like an underclassman, just trying to help them the most and just like stay calm and like encourage each other for sure.
How has the addition of the freshmen, and if you guys have gotten any transfers, how has that impacted the team?
I feel like they're really all great people and all love Christ, which also makes us be able to connect way easier and just have better relationships together. So, yeah, I think all the freshmen and really all the transfers, no one's had an issue with each other. I would say that's one of the best things about our team is we just all get along really well.
How do you guys think that this team has compared to the teams in the past, either on the court, off the court, spiritually?
I feel like this year we're all very close to each other, and we don't really feel like the difference between underclassmen and upperclassmen. We all hang out with each other. We're always together. There's not like I'm a senior and she's a sophomore and we're still like hanging out like 24/7. I don't feel the difference, and off and on the court, like it's really. I feel like I always say this trip really changed our lives, so that's a big reason why we're all so close to each other.
What has been each of yours favorite memory since being here?
I would say the mission trip with the team.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just the connections that we were able to make with the little girls there and the impact, but also to see how like each of our new teammates and old teammates were able to serve God and his people. But yeah, I would say the mission trip.
Man, I try to remember from my freshman year. I feel like, a big thing for me, like amazing, was the mission trip as well. But just like for me, every single game is just a memory that is going to stay with me forever. Just every little win, I mean, every win is going to like, even like losses, we're always going to learn from that. And it just helps me. And yeah, it's always like a huge memory and very meaningful for me.
How would you describe being a volleyball player here at IWU is different from either friends you have at other universities or just what you expected college volleyball to be?
I would say obviously the Christian atmosphere is a huge part in that. And I don't know, somehow we got very lucky with the recruiting process. We just tend to bring in really amazing people and great girls. So I would say that's a huge difference from some other schools. We just connect really well.
In life, we are dealt with many different challenges and adversities. So when that happens to you guys, how do you approach it and face that head on?
Personally, for me, I feel like being an athlete really helps me how I like handle with things when it gets like a little harder. I just always try to stay positive and like pray about it when something comes up, and just like not being too worried about it and just give it to God, and I know he's going to help me.
I would say similar. Prayer is a big part in my life when that kind of stuff comes, but also the people that I have around me, I like being able to share with them and have them take part in that too.
How would you guys describe your spiritual journey since being at IWU?
So I was born and raised in a Catholic household, but I never like had like a very strong relationship with God. But after I came here, just being like surrounded by this like amazing community and everything, my relationship like grew like bigger and bigger. And I actually got baptized 2 years ago again because I was baptized when I was 6 months old. So it was huge for me to just like share like my faith with everyone and make it public.
Congrats on being
Thank you.
baptized.
For me, I was born and raised in a Christian household, but being able to come here just made my faith more of my own rather than my parents like setting it on us. But yeah, I would say being in this community and around people who also have the same goals and aspirations as you do to follow Jesus is a huge part in that.
How would you guys describe how the team works spiritually? Like, what do you guys do kind of off the court? Or do you have like a team chaplain, or do you do Bible studies and stuff like that? Kind of explain your guys' spiritual aspect of the team.
Okay, so we always go to church together, even if like it's small groups. We always go together, some church. We're still like hopping around a lot, like to try to find our church. But yeah, and then we have small groups for our team and our coach every Wednesday. And we are doing a Bible study right now. It's called Through the Desert. So we're doing that right now, but it like changes every year. And then sometimes we like do worship nights with other like teams, such as we did with soccer, women's soccer a month ago, and we're planning on do something with women's basketball as well.
Martina, how would you describe your biggest blessing or takeaway from being at school and just taking it into the real world going out next year?
Oh man, I think for sure my teammates, they're like friends I'm gonna remember forever. They're gonna be there for me forever. And of course, I even like a good education. That's something I wanna work with me in the future when I'm done with like volleyball and everything.
With being leaving IWU here soon and your teammates being your biggest takeaway, are you considering a fifth year? Do you have more years of eligibility?
Yes, I have a COVID year that I still don't know if I'm gonna take or where I'm gonna take it at. So I don't know. It's a lot of praying and talking to my family about it. But I'm gonna have to like take a decision, like make a decision very soon. So I still don't know. I have to see even if my body is gonna allow me to, but we'll see.
We're praying that she stays, by the way.
And Ava, coming off of a very successful freshman year, what have you learned and taken away from that year to apply it to this year and the future seasons?
Just the ability to keep growing and keep getting better is a huge thing for me every day. In the gym, we always say get 1% better. So just striving for that. And then team success, I would say. We obviously have a great team and a great thing going for us right now. So just to keep that going.
So you guys have 2 ranked opponents coming up in Bethel and Mount Vernon. What are your thought processes when facing a ranked opponent? Do you treat it differently than another game, or specifically a conference opponent? Is there any difference that makes?
I would say there's obviously more of a difference, I would say, just because the idea that they're ranked, but we try as a team to go into every game the same, with the same amount of energy and the same amount of play, same amount of drive.
In what ways do you feel like the student body of IWU can help support you guys even more during the season?
I feel like just showing up and be loud.
Okay, final question. What is the funniest thing that has happened this season so far within like the team?
That you can share on the
that you can share
podcast.
on air.
Oh, man. I don't know. Do you have one?
I do have one, but I cannot say it.
I don't know.
Are there any like pre-game things you do in the locker room that are just like
That's good. Yes, we have 2 dances. It was a 2? Yeah.
Dances.
We have 2 songs. We have a player, number 15. She's from Italy, Marta. And we also have now 2 girls, one from Cuba and the other one from Puerto Rico. So we listen to Hispanic music a lot in the locker room. So there is a song and there's a dance to it with it. So we always dance that song. And then after that, there's a very country song where 2 other teammates are like just doing the little cowgirls dance something. So those are the 2 songs that we always dance before games.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, thank you guys so much for joining us tonight in our studio, and we can't wait to keep watching all the successes coming up. And as for me and Isaac, join us next week for episode 3 of Wildcat Week as we spotlight the men's golf team. I'm Abby Harvey here with my guest host, Isaac Wolf. Adios.